Hey, Legato! We are going to apply one of the most effective principles when it comes to practicing and legato. We've been spending the last 4 videos here on YouTube on that subject, applying that extremely powerful principle to practicing. We talked about alternate picking, so go back and watch the 4 other videos before this one, if you haven't done it. So legato, hammer-ons and pull-offs. First, we need to identify what is really the challenge with that technique. And then secondly, we need to apply the principle that we've been talking about, which is instead of pulling back when stuff is hard, or it seems like, oh, this is impossible, instead of trying to make it easier and try another song, if you're practicing songs with not so many chords or whatever it is, then you push forward and you make it even harder on yourself. Simply because if you do that, if you're willing to put that pain on yourself and you stay there for long enough, when you return to the challenges that you before saw as challenges, it's going to be super easy, like nothing. It's like a miracle when you return back. And with legato, there's something we need to do, because legato, first of all, is, you know, it's like if you don't really focus on legato as such, it just becomes fretting and unfretting notes, right? Because if you're playing with a lot of distortion, compression, then you can actually, if I'm alternate picking all these notes, well, if I just do the same thing with my left hand, but I don't only pick the first note on each string, then I get something that sounds like notes, right? But it isn't very effective, so we don't use it that much, because it's like every time we use legato, we can hear it. It's like that weak kind of, it doesn't come out really well. But in order to fix that, we need to look at legato as actual hammer-ons and pull-offs. So when you pull off, you pull off, right? You need to have that movement into your fingers that you really pull off. When you hammer on, you hammer on. You do it accurately. That's the most important thing. You need to really hit just behind the fret at the most optimal spot. So precision here is really the game. And so, and whether you actually hit the note with the tip of your fingers and not the flat part. This is not a legato way of holding your hand. You need to make this claw and make the fingers go directly in towards the fretboard. If you can do the very classical where you put your thumb behind the neck in the middle so you have all this reach here, then it's really easy to have that direct entrance towards the string in a very angled way. Instead of doing this, we do this. So that's the first thing. Instead of trying to do legato like, where I'm holding my fingers like I would in a phrasing position, I basically have 2 positions. I go back and forth between them. I have this grabbing the neck, where it's really nice to phrase. Your hands get stronger, right? You can really grab the neck and the strings. And then there's the precision stance, where I gradually move to this. The faster it goes, the more I have this hand position, because it allows me to be much more accurate and much faster in being accurate. So that is a prerequisite of great legato skills, that you really have that. And then relax in your hand. See if you can relax. And then it basically, if you're accurate enough, that actually fixes it. But that accuracy is a whole way of holding the hand, right? So legato is really a hand position. And then what's left is really practicing that accuracy. That's why you need to go extreme. Instead of just going to practice legato for a couple of minutes, then you think what you're actually practicing is holding your hand and your fingers in the right position, and then performing each hammer-on super accurately. Also with the 4th finger, that has a tendency, even though you hold your hand like this, it really needs to, because it doesn't have that much area to hit the string with. So it's really an accuracy task here. Once you have the right hand position, it's amazing how easy it gets to do the hammer-ons and pull-offs. And the hammer-on is, of course, a fretting, an accurate fretting right behind the fret wire, right, with the tip of your finger. A pull-off is not a removal in this sense. If you want strong pull-offs, you need to remove your finger downwards or upwards in order to really pick the string. But when you're that accurate, that precise, fingertip just behind the fret, then all you need to do is this. You need to remove your finger like that instead of this, right? So, and then you have that sticky feeling in your fingers because every time you do a pull off, it's like it sticks to the string and then you're pulling it off, right? So once you have that in place, what we need to do to go extreme is something quite extraordinary that we'll talk about in the next video. So for now, what I'd like you to do is just simply take a 6-note shape, and here we're in the key of C minor, just randomly, right? And we have a note in the 8th, 9th, and 11th fret on the B string, and then 8, 10, and 11th fret on the high E string. And what you can do is simply just go just go 6 notes up and down. See if you can really feel the pull-offs as a stickiness. Do it as slowly as you have to. So this is like a studying, because you study each and every note that come out and you evaluate on it instead of just rushing on to the next one. Was that a good note? Yeah, that's pretty good. But I could have hit it more accurately, actually. That's a little bit flat. I need to get my pinky just a little bit more raised there. Yeah. Also, I can feel the fret or the string underneath my fingertips. So I have a tactile feedback as well. And then I need to do the pull-offs. Just pick the first note on each string. And I'm actually not even holding my thumb in the middle of the neck, I'm holding it down here. So it's actually lower to the floor to get that. And you don't have to stand like this when you perform on stage. It comes more natural once you really, but when you practice, really do it well. You might want to take the guitar, pull the neck closer to your head so you can do that classical thing. And then it's just a study, right? It's a meditation where you feel and sense every single hammer-on and pull-off. See, your brain is no longer focused on just hearing the sound of the notes. Your brain is focused in a totally different way. It's focused on whether or not you feel the hammer-on and the pull-off in the right way, whether you actually hit it accurately, and not by whether you actually, because you have compression or distortion on your sound, that the note comes out anyway. We want to have a focus, like we talked about in the last video, on exactly what is it that I want to learn. Instead of just feeling good about the fact that you can actually produce some notes that sound okay, you want to produce an accurate precision, perfection here, right? On each note. And you can sit like this, right, for an hour, just all gone. You're going to look like a catatonic, catatonism is, people just sitting there, they never move, 24/7, they just stare out. You're going to look like that. Because you're so focused on something. Right? If you want to take it to the next level, you can drop the pick strokes and then just start hammering on with your first finger. Your third finger, or fourth finger, sorry, is actually pretty good at it. Because if you've been doing legato, it's pretty trained in hammer-ons and pull-offs, but your first finger is not, because it's always like that bar in the back. See, hammer on with the pinky, hammer on, right? And it leaves you the right hand to do something else. You can mute the strings, so you only have. Right? So you only have the string you're playing ringing out. But this is the process. And this is the exercise I'd like you to do to next time. Next video, I'm going to give you a really cool sequence that's going to encapsulate everything we hate about legato, the whole basic core challenge of doing this. And it's such a cool sequence because it's going to amplify what's hard about the technique. Again, the principle of don't pull back, push forward in order for you to make what is normal playing super easy. So see you in the next video. Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.